We have a large programme of bilateral cooperation with the Royal Government. At the moment, in the current budgetary period, which for the EU is a 7-year period from 2014 to 2020, the total value of that cooperation programme is €410 million. And that mainly covers 4 areas. First of all, working in support of the Ministry of Education in their plans to reform and improve the system of primary education and lower secondary education in Cambodia. And that's an area where we've been working with the Royal Government for more than 10 years. Secondly, we work in the area of natural resource management and agriculture, and over the current budgetary period that specifically means support for development of aquaculture and of capture fisheries in Cambodia. And we see that as very important, given that the very large number of people in Cambodia rely on fisheries, both in terms of employment, and it's one of the most important, fish is one of the most important sources of protein and one of the most important parts of the nutritional pattern for Cambodians. Thirdly, we work with the Ministry of Finance and Economy in support of the Public Financial Management Reform Programme. And fourthly, with the Ministry of the Interior on support for the decentralisation reform. And then on top of that, as part of the bilateral programme, we still provide support to the extraordinary chambers in the courts of Cambodia, the Khmer Tribunal, and we provided support to the National Election Committee in the run-up to last year's Commune Sangkat council elections. Apart from that, we support a range of projects through other budgets. Some of those are regional budgets, for example, for the ASEAN region. Some of them are thematic budgets, for example, in terms of support for civil society, in terms of work on environmental issues, and we cover a whole range of different issues there. Well, we try and follow closely how the political situation in Cambodia develops. It's no secret that there are concerns in the EU about some recent developments. Those were set out in a statement in what's officially known as conclusions by the Foreign Affairs Council in Brussels at the end of February. And those really relate to developments in terms of the position of of opposition politicians and parties, and of the situation of civil society in Cambodia. I am not going to make guesses as to what the outcome of the election is going to be. The answer to that is that if the situation changes, then we're willing to change our views. I don't really want to speculate about what might happen. I don't think it's helpful to speculate about things that haven't happened. The official EU position, as I said, is set out in the Foreign Affairs Council conclusions of the 26th of February, and I cannot add anything or add any comments to those. I also wouldn't want to comment on a decision by the US. That's for the US government to comment on. Well, as things stand, Cambodian goods have free access to the EU market. There are no tariffs and no quotas. The only exception, as the name of the scheme implies, is in the theoretical case if Cambodia were wanting to export arms to the EU. That's why it's known as everything but arms. It's a system applied unilaterally by the EU for least developed countries, for least developed economies. And we believe it's important because we believe that that countries can develop their economies effectively by building up their industries and their agricultural production, and that having free access to a big market like the EU can contribute in an important way to that development. And as I say, we believe that trade and export is one way among many, but one important way for a country like Cambodia to develop its economy. EBA system, like all the systems that come under the EU's GSP, Generalised Scheme of Preferences regulation, is based on the countries concerned abiding by the terms of a certain number of international conventions on labour standards and on human rights standards. Therefore, one of the things that's come out of the concerns in the EU over the current situation was a decision which is part of the Foreign Affairs Council conclusions, which I already mentioned, a decision to ask the European Commission to enhance its engagement with Cambodia over those issues. And that's a process which is going on at the moment. There is no plan at the moment for the EU to send an election monitoring mission.